When people say time heals all wounds, it's not true. You might be able to stuff it for a while, but it doesn't go away. It's just in there festering, and it's like shaking up a pop bottle. Eventually the top's going to blow off. Someone from the outside could look at my life and think, wow, she's got it all together. But I was really dead inside, and I think that's how I learned to wear the mask. I grew up in the country in Wisconsin where I was around all things motorized all the time, and I guess when things were pretty crazy, I could go out on my motorcycle. I could sing, I could laugh, I could cry, and my motorcycle didn't care. It was just feeling in control of something when everything else felt out of control. Back then, things were pretty crazy. I just always felt like I wasn't planned, that I was a mistake. I thought it was my fault that my parents were fighting. I thought it was my fault that my dad was drinking, because I guess I was just someone or something that they had to deal with because they were so young. But I hid all of this because I didn't want to bother them. So I stuffed a lot of feelings. I shut my needs off. I didn't know how to ask for help. I didn't always know what I needed. I discovered that if I drank alcohol, I became more fun. I felt at the time like it helped me not be so shy. I could be this other person that I felt like I really was inside, but I didn't understand that I could just be that person without adding alcohol. And so it was kind of just a quiet thing that I did that, of course, got worse, became something I did more and more. Still being a pom-pom girl, a basketball player, getting good grades in school, and really hiding my pain. I was very, very good at wearing masks, and I started living a completely double life at a really young age. By the age of 16, I got pregnant, and not understanding what abortion means or what that truly is, I ended that pregnancy without ever telling my mom about it. I went that day, I made that decision. I saw the baby, which I don't think you're supposed to do, and I started crying, and when the doctor came back in, he asked me if I was crying because I was in pain or crying because I was a woman now, and I didn't know what to say to that. None of it made any sense to me. It was just hidden and tucked away, and what I didn't understand is you don't just tuck something like that away. Ultimately, as I got older, I realized that decision was at the core of a lot of guilt and shame and low self-worth that I've dealt with most of my life. So I continued on through high school, never feeling good enough, never quite pretty enough, never smart enough, because nothing I did would seem to change my situation. By the time I got into college, I was introduced to drugs. From one drug to the next drug, to relationships, to anything that I would grab onto to just feel better about myself. It just was never enough. As I got older, and once I became a mom, it became harder and harder to do the double life. Hiding it from the girls, I always disguised as, you can go stay with grandma this weekend, and that would give me the opportunity to start on Friday and, drink till Sunday night. Suddenly, my kids would see me drunk once in a while. I was starting to lose control over keeping them really separate. I started realizing that I really wasn't hiding anything from anyone, and I might not be able to keep this up any longer. I might have to stop and face it. About that time, I had met my husband now, Brian, and Brian's actually invited me to his church. He was going kind of on and off, and he said he always felt better after he went, but he invited me, and I thought, well, yeah, I'll go. I hadn't had the best experiences finding a church or learning anything about God or any of that, and I went to church with him that day, and I sat there in tears that day. I'll never forget the sermon. The sermon was he just certain parts of it spoke to me because it spoke about a heavenly Father that cares about you and loves you no matter what you've done or where you've been, and that is about forgiveness, and all we have to do is accept that love. And what a concept. I mean, he could love me, you know? And there's a reason for all of this. That's when I truly surrendered my life to God, and I just said, I give up, I surrender. I think that was truly, I'd like to say that the sky opened up and light came down and all of that, but I did feel a sense of peace right away, like, you know what, I'm not in control of it. I haven't been in control of it all along, and I'm learning about this God of ours, that He is in control. I don't have to carry all this on my shoulders. I don't have to worry about my dad's life and my mom's life and my kids' lives. I mean, God's in control of it. I learned right away that, you know, there is a plan for my life. There is a purpose for me, that I was planned. I wasn't a mistake, and that God intended to show me that. I can't even describe the relief. It was just like the weight of the world being lifted off my shoulders. And right about that time, we got a chance to do a bike for Discovery Channel Biker Build-Off, and put a crazy fast motor in the bike, and decided as a marketing move that maybe we should go race it, and it would be a good idea to put a woman on the bike. And I felt like this was a door that opened, so I took the chance, having never been a racer before, but having ridden motorcycles most of my life. The first time I was on the starting line of the Bonneville Salt Flats, I sat there for a moment and I prayed, because I, was learning how to pray, and I just said, okay, God, this is where you have me today, and let me do your will, I thought for a minute about all the roads that I'd been on and all the crazy, twisted, windy paths that had gotten me to this point today. But here I was, and I was doing something that no one had ever done before. No one had raced this kind of bike before. And here were my daughters here with me, watching me do this. And it was a good thing. It was a positive thing. It was a healthy thing. And there was no party, no drinking. None of that stuff was involved. This was something new. This was something we had never done before. And I had this awesome opportunity, and so I just turned it over to God and took off. I don't have to have all the strength. I can lean on God when I feel like I'm facing something that I just can't do. I don't have to do it on my own. I'm never alone. I don't have to feel alone anymore. He's always there. I'm Laura Klock, and I am second.